beneath me don't got no business even in my conversation.
At all.
I'm a champion. Where you at?
The only champion in the DMV.
The countdown to the Gervonta Davis vs. Lamont Roach Jr. fight is ticking, but there's a twist in the air as can Lamont Roach come to face. Reports say the fight might face a delay. Numerous sources have suggested a 50-50 chance of postponing the fight, possibly because of worries about Houston's Toyota Center, the planned venue. However, despite all this, Lamont Roach continues to face criticism, and Tank continues to contend with fans who perceive this as a mere trash fight.
They're both champions, but in this case, Garcia is the challenger.
Dan Rafael said on X just hours ago that this fight might not happen after all. In fact, the venue's website shows an open calendar for December 14th, but the Davis-Roach fight is still not officially mentioned. The two fighters are getting more and more tense as this doubt grows. They are both hungry for a win that would cement their places in boxing history. With a perfect 30-0 record and 28 of those wins coming by knockout, Tank has become one of the biggest names in boxing right now. This fight marks his second major bout of 2024, coming off his knockout win over Frank Martin in June. As of January 25th, Lamont Roach Jr. had a good record of 25 wins and 10 losses. He is not an underdog in this match, and Merritt Roach has already won his class this year with a decisive win over Fergal McCrary in Washington, D.C. However, stepping up to Davis's lightweight division is a huge task, and it's one that could either boost Roach's career to new heights or prove just how untouchable Davis has become in the ring.
They say Instagram-based backing or anything like that. I earned my stripes the hard way, worked my way up to win a world title.
Davis and Roach are no strangers. In fact, this December bout marks their third meeting in the ring, but the first as professionals. Their history dates back to 2011 when both were still teenagers battling for glory. In the amateur circuit, they first clashed at a regional Junior Olympics event where things got heated, points were deducted and tensions ran high. The scorecard swung back and forth, with both fighters believing they should have taken the win. That initial showdown led to their second encounter at the Nationals, where Davis again came out on top, winning the fight by a score of 14-6. Roach has openly voiced that he didn't feel Davis deserved the win. Back then we met in the championship of the Nationals. He ended up winning a close fight again. Roach recalled in a recent interview, it was like a point system. I don't think he should have won. Now with years of hard-earned experience and 2 world titles between them, Rook thinks it's his time to prove he can take on Davis and win.
Payday. We're talking payday. And Tank is now giving another brother. He just gave Frank Martin an opportunity. He's giving another brother an opportunity to see if he can beat him, but also make some career-changing money. We all got to be excited for what Tank is doing for the sport of boxing in terms of feeding families in boxing, and the fights will come. And if they don't come, let's just enjoy the fighter that Tank is and what he has done.
Since their last amateur fight, Rook has carved out an impressive career while Davis was already making waves by going pro early and climbing the lightweight ranks. Rook stuck to his amateur career longer. In 2013, he won the National Golden Gloves, a title Davis had claimed the year before. Both fighters ruled their local scenes. Davis from Baltimore and Rook from the Washington, D.C. area. This homegrown rivalry adds another layer to the fight as fans from both towns look to back their hometown hero. Despite Davis's stellar record, Rook believes that his style has evolved since those amateur days. He's now a disciplined fighter focusing on technique and power. When we were kids, people would consider me more of a power puncher. He shared his stats, backing him up with his most recent fight finishing in an impressive 8-round stoppage. But Davis's power has grown exponentially too, especially in the pro circuit. With 28 knockouts, he's known for stopping fights fast, a skill Rook will need to counter if he wants to go the distance.
Right now, but I was asking your father, like, when you gonna shut social media down? That's what everybody want to know.
Yeah,
because there's so much chatter, man. I know you gotta get focused.
I'm focused though. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's regular. It's not like this. Obviously, it's to a different degree because of who I'm fighting, and due to the fact that a lot of people might not know me outside of like hardcore boxing fans. So that's the thing. But that don't deteriorate me. None of these people are outside with me.
Davis is aware of Roach's confidence and past performances, but he remains undeterred since going pro. Davis has perfected his power and precision, earning a reputation as one of the most devastating punchers in boxing that MF can face. Roach admitted in a recent interview recognizing Davis's skill while asserting his own readiness to face him. This respect mixed with competitiveness makes the matchup even more interesting. Davis isn't just any lightweight winner, he's a phenomenon, and he knows it. Roach sees the difference between the teenage tank he fought over a decade ago and the relentless knockout artist Davis has become. He's certainly different, Roach concluded, adding that Davis is now world-class better. But Roach isn't just admiring from afar. He's ready to step into the ring and show he's worthy of the challenge. Their shared past, mutual respect, and professional growth make this fight personal, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The two fighters share more than just official fights they've sparred together, adding another layer to their familiarity and rivalry. Roach remembers the sessions well, remembering how the young tank was a solid fighter but not the knockout artist he is today. Roach also remembers how fans have long debated their amateur matchups with footage from their 2011 bout available on YouTube. Roach, talking about those days, laughed off some of the calls saying they both had points deducted, which USA Boxing Review. Still, he won an at-large bid to the Nationals, where he and Davis crossed paths once again in the final bout. That point system was something else. Roach said they took a point from him, then one from me. It was like 5-3 after the second round. I think he beat me by like 4 points. These matches and the close calls involved fuel the present stakes. Both fighters have a chip on their back from those days, and neither wants to leave anything to chance in December. One of the most exciting questions for fans is whether Roach can handle Davis's speed. In his amateur days, Davis wasn't a knockout specialist. He is now Roach, who was actually considered the power puncher back then, a fact that has since changed. As they step into the ring, Roach will face Davis's infamous knockout tower, something he recognizes as world-class. It's a challenge Roach seems more than eager to tackle, saying he wants to show the world and show him just what he's capable of. Now for Davis, every punch and every fight is a message to his opponents and fans. His power has only gotten stronger with each bout, and he's taken down some of the toughest names in lightweight boxing, but Roach remains unshaken, saying, "I know what I'm capable of, and I'm one of them."
Roach, is that the right opponent for Tank?
I don't know why everybody is kind of sleeping on Lamont, but he has a decorated amateur career too. He's a very sturdy kid. He's very skilled. Tank is Tank, you know. And when I say Tank is Tank, I mean like he's a bad man. He can fight. He's tough. I know we had our dispute back and forth, whatever. But at the end of the day, if we talk about just boxing, he's a good fighter, and I look forward to watching that fight.
Is this a pay-per-view fight though? Would you buy it?
I love any fight that Tank has had pay-per-view, and I think that Lamont Roach is worth watching. I think that this fight is going to be.
While the fight itself has been criticized because of Tank picking Roach instead of other top fighters, those other top fighters have had things to say, with Shakur leading the line of statements. Shakur Stevenson has been clear. People shouldn't discount Lamont Roach in his upcoming fight with Gervonta Davis. Shakur's got an insider's view of the lightweight scene, and he's seen what happens when a challenger is written off too soon. Roach stepping up to 35 pounds means he's taking on Tank at his best weight, the place where Davis has crushed his way through every challenger he's faced. But to Shakur, Roach isn't just another opponent waiting to be outgunned. This guy is bringing something different to the ring more than the fans might be ready for.
Fighting here in his hometown, the nation's capital, please give a huge DNB welcome to your current reigning and defending WBA Super Featherweight Champion of the world, Lamont the Reaper Roach.
While a lot of people are looking at Tank's power, Shakur points out that this fight is about more than raw force. Shakur says Tank is no easy opponent, and he's not the same style of fighting as Frank Martin. Tank's last challenger, Davis, knocked Martin out in the 8th round, which sent shockwaves through the division, but Shakur's putting out a clear warning here. Don't think Roach will fold in the same way to him. Lamont is someone who knows how to handle strong pressure and bring something calculated to the ring. Roach's record, especially his recent fights, which is proof of his resilience and his evolving style in many ways. Roach's climb to the top in the super featherweight division shows a journey of adaptation, something Shakur respects. Winning his title over Hector Garcia was no small task. Garcia was a solid champion, and Roach did the job well enough to snag the belt through a split decision. That fight showed Roach's versatility, his ability to adapt to a different pace, and his desire to push back when the going gets tough. Shakur is aware of the effort it takes to win a belt against a champion like Garcia, and he's not blind to the fire that Roach brings as he moves up a weight class.
You do it. This is the blueprint. You know, you work your plan and you plan your work. And he's been doing that. He's gotten better since the loss. Sure, he's gotten bigger, he's gotten stronger. You know, so hats off to them. They put themselves in the position for a payday. That's what this is all about. It's called prize fighting.
Yeah.
The story continued for Roach. In his first title defense, he took on Fergal McCrory and put the pressure on him, making his plans loud and clear by stopping McCrory in the 8th round. Shakur sees this as proof that Roach is willing to step into uncomfortable territory to get the job done. Stopping a guy like McCrory isn't something you pull off if you're just trying to coast by. You need to be smart, skilled, and tough enough to make it count. That's the mindset Roach is bringing with him to Houston for Davis, and Shakur doesn't think that's something Tank or his team should brush away. Shakur view also brings up a question of style. Davis is known for his rapid power. His fights end in knockouts more often than not at 30-0. With 28 knockouts, he's established himself as one of the sport's most dangerous punchers, but power alone isn't always the answer, especially when the opponent has a technical approach and is used to handling tough rounds. Shakur understands that Roach has grown into his own style, one that isn't intimidated by big names or big moments. Shakur himself knows what it's like to be the outsider or to walk into a fight where everyone thinks they know what'll happen with the Roach. There's an extra layer of unknown, a fighter moving up who hasn't hit his ceiling yet.
And Baltimore guys don't like each other. You know what I mean? So it was the DC guy that I got into it with.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So one of the older guys named Dana, he basically told me chill out. Like, nah.
DC and Baltimore don't fuck with each other.
Yeah, they don't. One thing about it, the city going.
This fight isn't just about Tank versus a smaller champion going up. It's about Tank versus a fighter who's adapted, grown, and overcome plenty. Shakur's understanding cuts through the surface level. People see Davis's highlights, his power, and his undefeated record, but Shakur tells them to look deeper to see what Roach brings to the table. Rook's journey from top amateur through the super featherweight ranks wasn't easy, and it came with its own hurdles. In Shakur's view, Tank's anger will face something Roach has trained to handle, and when you've seen as many styles as Roach has, you learn how to take control even when the power isn't all yours. The build-up between Shakur and Davis for a possible showdown is hard to ignore in all of this. Fans want that fight badly, but first Tank has to get through Roach, and Shakur doesn't think that's a given. Shakur and Tank have been in each other's orbits for a while, both dominating at the top of their divisions and bringing a lot of respect from fans and critics. Shakur's words almost seem like a message to Tank that he sees what's happening in his division, and if is right if Roach ends up being tougher than expected. Tank's future, including that possible unification fight with Shakur, might get a little more complicated.
Gervonta Davis, is it just boxing beef or is it real beef? and if so, where did it originate from? I know it's a longer story, but just,
I mean,
whatever you can share.
It's kind of bigger than boxing, I guess you could say, because like the history and like everything that went on. It's hard to even speak on it just because of the fact that we got to fight. So at the end of the day,
you feel that's gonna happen?
Yeah, I know it's gonna happen. I'm the best, he the best. So you got two guys that's...
He respects what Rook has achieved, and he knows that if Davis looks past him, Roach will take advantage of it. He's seen fighters overlook opponents before, and it rarely goes well. In his view, if Tank approaches this fight expecting an easy night, he'll have a rough awakening. Shakur himself has faced opponents who people thought he breezed through only to have to dig deeper to win. Rook has done the same, and Shakur thinks that's what makes him a real threat, and that is the same thing Hearn has stated. Hearn acknowledges that Lamont Roach is a talented fighter, but he gets why fans feel and are overwhelmed by the matchup with Davis's unbeaten record and incredible knockout power. Many people expected him to take on a bigger name or a more well-known contender. However, Hearn is quick to support Roach and shed light on the dynamics of this fight that might not be obvious to the casual.
And because people don't know Lamont, he's not as popular, they think he can't fight, but Lamont can fight. And he got a hell of a pedigree, 7-time national champion, and he's tough. He can fight.
Absolutely, I 100% agree. Where do you feel like Tank feels as far as not getting the Lomachenko fight, not being able to secure the Shakur fight? Do you think it's frustrating for him not to be able to get these?
One of Hearn's main points is that the public response to the fight has been somewhat unfair. Tank is considered one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport. Roar, on the other hand, isn't as well known, and this has led some fans to dismiss the fight before it even happens, but Hearn is clear. Just because Roar isn't a popular name doesn't mean this fight will be a walkover for Davis Lamont. Roach is a good fighter, Hearn says, and he thinks people are overlooking Roach's potential. Roach has shown he's no slouch in the ring. He's a super featherweight champion moving up in weight to face Davis, who has been dominating the lightweight class. Hearn points out that Roach's moving up in weight isn't unusual in boxing, and it can sometimes lead to great results from fighters who find new gear in a higher weight class. Still, the task ahead of Roach's is enormous. Davis is a knockout artist with an impressive 21-fight streak of wins, IKO or TKO, which makes any opponent going into the ring with him a serious underdog.
What do you think of the announcement of the Gervonta Davis-Roach fight?
I think that, it's had a lot of criticism, but it's not a bad fight. Lamont Roach is a world champion. He's smaller than Gervonta Davis. The problem is not many people are aware of who he is or his ability, but he can fight. I don't think it's a huge fight, but not a terrible one.
Hearn doesn't shy away from addressing the elephant in the room. To fight, while solid from a boxing standpoint, isn't the blockbuster matchup many were hoping for. Fans expected Tank to take on a bigger name in the lightweight division, and Hearn gets why they're disappointed. The trouble is no one knows who Roach is, and with Tank's position in the sport, people want him in big fights, and it's not a big fight. Hearn says, adding that while it may not have the star power of other potential matchups, it's still a good fight for those who follow the sport carefully. One of the complaints surrounding this fight is that it lacks the excitement and competitiveness that fans crave. Some people think that Tank picked an easier opponent to protect his undefeated record. Hearn doesn't agree with this criticism completely, but he admits that the matchup doesn't scream high stakes in the way a fight against someone like Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson would. Fans wanted to see Davis tried against another top lightweight contender, but instead they're getting a fight against Roach, who is moving up from 130 pounds to face one of the hardest punchers in the game.
Everything is surging to your direction because December 14th, y'all are going to be the centerpiece of the boxing universe.
Of course. It's a platform that I'm grateful to be on. Like I said, even though I work my way here, I think, it's not far-fetched. Of course, that's what you have to do. Take advantage of the opportunities that you're given.
However, Hearn also offers some perspective on Tank's choice at this point in his career. According to him, it's not as if Davis had a long list of top-level opponents ready and willing to fight him. Boxing politics, contract talks, and fighter schedules all play a part in how these matchups come together. What were the available choices for Tank? Hearn asks, showing the complexities behind making these fights happen. While the matchup with Roach might not be as glamorous as fans hope, it was likely one of the best choices available for Tank at this time for Roach. This fight offers a massive opportunity. At 29 years old, he's in the prime of his career, and meeting a superstar like Davis could be a career-defining moment. Hearn notes that Roach is a skilled and crafty fighter, and while he's going into the ring as the underdog, there's always a chance he could surprise people. Roach has a reputation for being tough with a strong chin and the ability to take punishment. If he can withstand Tank's early power and capitalize on Davis's habit to start fights slowly, there's a slim chance he could make the fight competitive at least in the early round. Still, Hearn is realistic about the Roach's hopes. This is an incredibly tough fight for him, and the odds are stacked against him. Davis's speed and strength are on another level, and he's shown time and time again that he can end a fight with one punch. Roach will need to fight a near-perfect fight to have any hope of pulling off an upset, but as Hearn points out, stranger things have happened in boxing. If Roach can use his skills to frustrate Davis, keep him off balance, and dodge the big shots, he might be able to take Tank into deeper waters than most people expect. Davis, this fight is about keeping his momentum. He's one of the biggest draws in the sport right now, and every time he steps into the ring, fans expect fireworks. While this fight might not have the high-profile allure of a meeting with Haney or Stevenson, it's still a chance for Davis to showcase his skills and add another knockout to his resume. Hearn knows the pressure Tank is under to keep delivering highlight reel performances, and he believes that while this fight might not be the one fans wanted, it's still an important one for Davis's career. But do you think the fight is as good as they say? Share your ideas below and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more.